shows Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today, Angie Simmons and Dr. Bigetan. Angie Simmons, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi everyone, I'm Angie Simmons. I'm a single mom from a mining town called Mansfield in England. I'm a personal development and mental wellness mentor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. Please.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. And so, I have some questions for you. If you are, for you listening to this or watching this, what is the foundations of life that hold you up? What is it that in life that keeps you going? What are some of the basic things that you would love to accomplish in your life? And sometimes there are certain things in life that we want to go forward and we're not moving forward, and we like to know why and what in that scenario would keep you going. And I'm a great transformation coach, and what I do is I help people to continue to thrive regardless of what's going on in their life and do that easily and with fun, and continue listening with us, and you'll discover a little more about you and a bunch and also tips that will be able to help you create what is it that you would love to create in your life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. So Dr. Bigot has already mentioned the topic. So the topic is, what is the foundation of your life holding you up? And so we're going to cover that, basically foundation of your life. What do we mean when we talk about foundation of your life that is holding you up? In life, we all know the life that we desire. We all know the foundation. If you know about, like, you go online, they say family tree. What is your family tree? Do you want to find out about your family tree? So that is the foundation we are talking about, the seeds of your foundation. How do they look like? And are those seeds enough to basically to take you where you want to go? But if you are that somebody, you want to succeed, but you are like, every day I'm not enough. You are single, you want to find that special person. You are like, I don't think I'm beautiful enough, or I don't think anyone is going to want me. So, do you think what you're planting, your foundation is not really stable if you are talking yourself out of your blessings, or you want to start a business? You are like, no one is going to want to take me serious, or no one is going to want to do this. Or if you fall down, you're like, I don't think I can get up. So, the foundation it needs is somebody that is basically has strength. It needs somebody that understands how to shape the direction of their life. It needs somebody that understands their character. So some people are born with a character of a tiger or of a lion, but some people are not. So are you okay? Basically, in order for you to build that foundation, good foundation of your life, you've got to be okay of who you are. You've got to be okay with your character that is not a lion, because you can build it natural, but some people are born natural with it, but you can build it by working your skills up to where you need to go. So we're going to cover that. How do you relate to the topic, Dr. Bigot? What do you think about the topic? For the audience, basically, what do you think the audience, if they listen to this, would gain their benefits?
Sorry, I was muted. Ha. I love when you say that, Numsa. How is it that some people born with the character of the tiger, a tiger, and some people with different character, and sometimes it's one of those things that why do we hang on 1 second. Oh, okay. So what some people are born with a character of the tiger, and some people are different character. And so, how do you navigate into that? And it's very interesting where I find I would say everybody has different character, and at the same time, there is a strength in each character, and there is also a weakness, or if you want to call it a weakness, or at the same time, it is something that when you have things, there is a benefit or an advantage and a disadvantage in everything, and is a character of a tiger, so to say, always good at all times? Well, sometimes perhaps no. If it means you lack, you could be more flexible. For instance, sometimes people with a very character of like very strong character, they might not be as flexible versus somebody else with a different character. And so, for me personally, yes, sometimes it's certain character might we we might think beneficial, and at the same times it's actually more on being able to, you can have one character but more being able to adapt, because life is life. You might say, okay, so I would love to have this in life, and what's character it we need to be. Well, what about if you one thing that helped me being successful is being able to adapt, actually, to yes, to have a character that allow tenacity and persistence and so forth, but also being able to adapt and kind of like adapt your character accordingly, in with the way that being able to allow you to say, well, in this scenario I might not want to be this way. Let me see what's everybody else and learn from everybody else and do accordingly.
So much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. Angie.
Sorry, can you just repeat the question? What do I think the foundations of life is? Is that what?
Oh yeah, we're just saying what do you think about the topic, and is there anything you want to talk about it just to give to the audience before we continue? Your
Well,
thoughts.
I can, definitely agree with Dr. Brigitte in the sense of character. To me, character is built if you choose to build it. We all go through stages in life that we get knocked back. We have circumstances that happen that are out of our control, and it can change your character. I know it definitely did me for a while, but it's to me, life and stuff like that, it's about a choice. You have a choice to build on your character, to work on you. And I don't believe that we are set in stone, if that makes sense. We all have the ability to change, put those proper foundations down to build ourselves and the people around us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it does make sense. I'm sure it makes sense to the audience too as well. Because it is actually very, very important, basically, to, like Dr. Bickett was saying, that to learn to adapt. Some people, they basically focus on what they want to do, and learning to adapt, it means you're not focusing on restricted goals. Some people, they like to create goals, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do anything." You have to be open to possibilities of life, and also how do we shape, like Dr. Bigger, how do we shape the direction of, if someone is watching right now and they want to create the foundation of their lives? They're like, I like this topic, and I would like to have a good foundation in my life. And create something to shape? How do I start shaping my life? What advice can you girls give them?
Can you repeat? How do you share or do you shape? You say.
Shape, shape.
How do you? Excuse me. How do you? How do you shape your life?
Shape the direction of your life. Basically, if you basically, and from the start of the beginning, because some people, they're not into personal development, they don't have a clue basically what is the foundation, how do they create this foundation. So we've given them some tips and stuff from the beginning, so now they do understand that, okay, the foundation of my life, it has to be like this, for me to be able to get to where I need to go. But how do I shape it?
Yes, I for me personally, and for over where I help many of my clients, a lot of times when they many people after they move beyond their grief, they said, okay, well, what's next? And one thing that can shape you and help you basically shape your life is to know where you want to go. What's your destinations? We can give you, so to say, you can have the fanciest, most advanced ship on the ocean. And if you have no destinations, you're just going to be spinning around and sailing around in circles, so to say. Or the car, I can give you the most advanced car with a tank full of gas or even spare gas and gasoline. And if you don't know where you go, you're just going to be driving around aimlessly. And life is not about standing still. You cannot be saying, I'm just gonna sit on the dock. Even if you do, we know that this is a very interesting discoveries. When I don't know if this was noticed in the UK as well or not, but you might have heard that. I'm going to digress a little bit here, but you might have heard that airplane, planes. People think it's dangerous to fly in planes. It's very dangerous for planes to stay on the ground and not flying. And during the initial lockdown here in the United States, the here we nobody well most people are not driving, so for months and months their car just sit out. Many people in the driveway, sometimes also in the
I asked you to ask you. Dr. Bickett, do you want to reply? I don't understand the question. Do you want to reply, Sonu, uh, the question? I
I
don't
asked
understand.
you asking in this video. I'm sorry, I don't understand that question either. Maybe if you don't mind wording it differently. I We're discussing the topic of this video, if that's what you are asking. Sonu. Thank you for your feedback and thank you for your input. So if what you are asking is what we're discussing in this video, we're discussing the topic in this video right now, and I'm just giving an example of we are not standing still in life, because in here when we have a lockdown in the United States here, people didn't drive, and very soon once, and this happened only a few months people weren't driving. And guess what? Then when they started to drive again, many of them find their cars have problem. Even cars not meant to sit still, so you cannot sit still in your life. One of the thing of talking about foundation of life is you got to keep moving. You either moving forward, but the late Bob Proctor always say this: you either moving forward, progressing, or you regressing. And even same thing with your body. If you really look at your body biologically, your body is, if they're progressing, being a doctor, I say this all the time, it's kind of like your cells, your DNA, it's go, and it's growing, and then hit certain point, very briefly it stopped, and then it start regressing. So you gotta want to keep going if you don't want to start regressing. And so one thing that on how to shape your life for my clients, the first thing I ask them is to discover what is it that they would want, what is it that they would really love, not what their great great grandparents imply to them, not what the neighbor and the society and the dog and their neighbor says, but what is it that what you really would want? What is it that you personally, your heart calls you and tells you? And then to also the other things that's really good to know is actually to know your core value. What are some 4 to 5 things, your major core values, some 4 to 5 things that's really, really, really important for you. And that because whatever that you say you want, if it's going against your core value, that usually means 2 things. First, it might not really what you want. It might be what people influence you to want, because you what you really want typically not going to go against your core value. And then the second thing is if what you want is opposite what your core values, then you're going to keep going against yourself, and that's not going to feel good, and that's not conducive to you succeeding. And so those are the 2 basic things, and then from there we'll be able to get into the next step and the next step. And of course, if you don't know how to even get there, allowing some support.
Okay, you pass it to Angie. Want to hear your opinion, Angie?
Fantastic, thank you. Very similar to what Dr. Brigitte said, in the sense of it's finding what you want out of life, not like Dr. Brigitte said, not what other people want you to do, what makes you happy, what lights you up. Like, for instance, myself, finding what makes me happy is creativity. Now, sometimes we like hit a brick wall in life and we're like, oh, can't really move forward. And I think sometimes that's because we're trying to push forward in the wrong direction and we're not doing some of the stuff that makes us happy. Because if we're doing things that are not making us happy, you're not going to want to take those steps forward. So for me, it's about finding out what you want to do, how you're going to do it, but also doing those, because sometimes like the steps that we need to take to move us forward to achieve what we want can be really hard. And then we get to the point where, well, I can't do this, and a lot of people give up. But what I find sometimes with myself, especially, and some of my clients, it's because they're trying to push forward in a direction without doing, and focusing on this one particular thing, but not doing other things. Like, most people, they constantly working, and then what's going to happen is that they're not going to go any further because their body, their mind starts getting poorly. Excuse me. And very much like what Dr. Brigitte said, if you are wanting to move forward, let's use the car, for instance, or the airplane. They are, especially the airplane, like a sat nav or an airplane. You put in your sat nav and your airplane destination. It's not going to get to that destination if you don't follow it. And a lot of people try and change it. And it's okay to change it if a certain direction is not working for you. And that's why I find doing something that really makes my soul sing, like creativity. If I'm trying to push this snowball up a hill and it's a little bit hard at this moment, get somebody to help you. You can't push that snowball up the hill on your own. If it's a huge thing, obviously, if it's tiny, then you can. But, when we're trying to push to do something that is quite challenging, I find myself sometimes, you just get this mental block. So then I'll take time out, not long, and then I'll do something that makes me happy. And then I come back to the situation that I need to, what task I need to do. And I found, oh, right, I've got a new perspective on it or new insight on it. So I'm able to achieve things. But definitely, having other people to help you is paramount, because, a team, there is no I in it. It's all about finding the right people around you. That's one of the biggest things that I found. Find the people that elevate you and support you, not the people that will deflate you and pull you down and say, oh, you can't do that. So yeah, there's a few things there, like finding your purpose, what you want to achieve, finding the people that are going to help you achieve it, for sure, and working on yourself. I know you mentioned a lot of people don't understand personal growth, but as Dr. Brigitte said, if we're not growing, to me, we're dying. You know, you can't lay in bed all day and just expect things to happen for you, because it's just not going to work. So for me, it's finding those things that help you find out about something. So for personal growth myself, if I don't understand how to do something, if I can't find out how to do it myself, I'll find somebody who does know and learn from them. So that's how you learn things. That's personal growth in my eyes.
Thank you so much, Andy. I actually agree with you, and I like what Dr. Biggett said as well, that basically find out what you really, really want in life, not what the society or your family members want for you. Just, and also Angie, you said what makes you happy, do what makes you happy. And you mentioned that you're basically the things that make you happy is being creative, basically being sitting there and getting creative and focusing on, not focusing on one thing. Some people, like, they create as goals, like I said before, and those goals, if things don't work out, they give up because they want to work instead of tweaking things when things are not working. So basically for me, basically is doing things that makes me happy, and also knowing that when I'm walking that path, I'm not walking alone and walking with God, knowing that whatever is going on in my life, and writing the goals that make me happy. And when I know that I'm working with God, everything is possible for me. Basically, that's how I understand that when you do something, when it comes to life, you have to make sure that your foundation is aligned with what you want. Like myself, I'm a Christian, and when I do things, I'm not an obsessed Christian. There are some people that are Christian, and instead of looking at themselves, they will start trying to change other people. For me, I'm a Christian that look at my life within, and look at my life and say, Nomsa, is your life aligned with what you say you are? And I know that if I'm being truthful to myself, and if everything is aligned to what I think I should be, then I'm able to actually believe that God is holding my hands, and I'm able to know that every day of my life, every second and every minute of my life, even when I fall, I'm able to pick myself up because I know what God has in store for me. God created me to become the person that I want to become. He prepared a house for me, a house of blessings where I can go in and pick who I'm supposed to be. Like a lion, I basically, when I imagine myself, I have a lion's character. Lion, when a lion finds himself in a slaughterhouse, it wants to come out alive. It wants to come out alive. There is no way that it can give up. There is no way that it can basically surrender. There is no times to surrender. For me, it's the time for me to seek. It's the time for me. If I know that the skills that I needed, I don't have it, it's the time for me to work on my skills. It's the time for me to work on my mindset. It's the time for me to work on my thinking, my physical body, and then make sure that my physical body and my thinking, my emotionally thinking is connected with everything, with what I need to do. And basically being grateful that I'm ready to receive my blessings gratefully, and I'm happy to work towards the goals that I want. Sometimes I might have to retweak the goals that I want, or sometimes I might have to just go. When you have this tree that you have created, you have planted, the tree needs to be watered in order to produce the fruits. So you need to make sure that you're watering your mindset, physically, everything. You're watering your character is aligned with the foundation of the tree you want to build. Get people around you that can help you as well. It's important to be surrounded by the right people. And it is important to actually work on your weaknesses and your strength without comparing your life with anybody else, because that's where we make things wrong, where we start saying, if Dr. Bigot can do this, why is my life not working out? Maybe Dr. Bigot found a secret to unlock her potential, and you have not found that secret. You're focusing on Dr. Bigot's success. So maybe focus on your life, and instead of comparing your life with somebody else, if you fall, just work on the skills, because the skills is everything. And also knowing that what's on the inside of you is greater than what's on the outside, because that inside is everything. Is going to build the business that you want. Is going to help you to create the skills of that promotion that you want. If you are somebody that wants to work in the community, that inside of you is going to help you to connect within the community, so you can help your community how you want it to look like. That world that you have in your dreams, everyone has a world that they imagine with their gift, that like Dr. Bigot or Angie, you guys have different world, that I want my world to look like this when I'm empowering people. So that's what you want to focus on reaching, regardless of having to tweak your goals. You still get there eventually. You still get there in that world where you imagine. So over to you, Dr. Bigot or Angie. So, what do you do when the foundation of your life wants to succeed, but does not have the character to go with it? What advice can you give the audience right now? They're like, you know what, I want to succeed, but they haven't got the right character, because everything is character and
So
the
one,
mind.
so one thing, if you want to succeed and you don't feel you have the character of it, is for me, ask your why. Because if your why is strong enough, usually it will be able to. People are either being pushed by pain or pulled by desire, by their why, so to say. Not again, not anybody else's why. It's not what your society telling you why and whatsoever, but ask your why. Yeah, and it could be your why is because, well, I don't want. I know a very well-known coach, actually, Bob Proctor, number one consultant in the whole world, Kim Calvert. One of her why is she was so poor that at some point she could not afford food for her dog. She literally stand in a pet store and realized she could not afford food for her dog. And she from time to time she said that very moment she said, "I will never ever be broke anymore in my whole life, ever, never." Well, she's a multimillionaire now. She's running in the 8-digit figures in a matter of a short time, through 6 years from then. So ask your why, and that could be that was a partly pain and partly desires. It's painful to not be able to feed your dog yet. Imagine, and so see, so that's one of your why, and so ask your why, and if your why is strong enough, then back to your destinations. If you have a destinations you want to go. For myself, the when I went through like 9/11 different events in 2010 and 11, that was enough pain that I said, I will not want some of this anymore. And I want basically the same. I would love to succeed. Well, character wise, some of my character did not match what it's required for me to be able to really succeed in such a way. One being, I was an extremely quiet. I was an extreme introvert. And you probably wouldn't even have dreamt that, Numsa, since we've met. I was an extreme introvert, so much so, absolutely, I will not be here. So much so that if you were to speak with me back in the day, I would not even look at you. Never mind coming up and saying hi to everybody. And nowadays, you put me in an excuse me, in an elevator. It's going to a tall building. I'll make friends. So what's your why? Find your why. And if your why truly strong enough, which is like with Kim Calvert, she did everything. She changed. I mean, even if you look at her photo through the last 6 years, even if you look at my photos in between 2010 and now, you could see it's almost you're looking at a different persons now and back in 2009, for instance. And so if your why is strong enough, you will be able to be pulled by that guiding light or what have you pushing you, and you will actually develop the character that you need to be able to succeed in whatever it is. With I don't know what Kim's that has to develop, but with me, one of them being, well, if I never say a thing and if I wouldn't look at anybody and all these things, there is no way I can be as successful as can I be successful. I was a doctor, so there are many doctors who are an extreme introvert and still do fairly well. Yes, definitely. I was able to get along until that time. But for me to take myself to the next level, take a whole different personality, so to say. So back to your why. What's your why? And then, of course, if you don't know how to get there, then use support. Like you said, you look around and you don't want to compare. You want to look at other people. You don't want to compare and say, oh, comparing this and comparing that. But actually, you want to look around and use things as lesson and say, oh, this person's doing this. Like if I were to, back in the day, I were to look around at everybody who's succeeding at the level I want to succeed. None of them refuse to look at people. All of them have the ability to come to people and start talking to them comfortably and basically good. You don't have to be an extrovert and outgoing, but you have to have reasonably good social skill. And so it's like, okay, so this is something that everybody do, and it's not comparing yourself, but use it as a lesson. Now, if you say this is something that everybody do, this is something that people do, and I don't know how to do that, then you want to allow support. Nobody built a house, never mind an empire, or nobody built a good house and comfortable with, say, all the plumbing and the electricity system and all these things on their own. Even if you're a builder, you usually need, okay, you're a builder, you still need somebody to set up the electricity or hook up the plumbing or what have you. And so nobody even build a good house, never mind an empire on their own. So allow support if you don't know. And even if you do know, imagine trying to build a house on your own versus trying to build a house with a team. How much longer do you gonna take if you do try to do everything on your own? So that would be some of the basic thing for me to be able to get to where you want to be.
Cool. Have you finished, Dr. Brigitte? Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to speak over somebody, that's all. So I loved how you mentioned Find Your Why. You know, that book from Simon Sinek, I found that probably about 8 years ago, and it absolutely blew my brain, because I was one of those people that didn't think that they could achieve anything. At that particular time, I was working full time as a kennel manager. I was dog grooming part time. I was struggling with depression, anxiety, finding everything I could to try and shut this up, instead of the tools to help wake the brain up and understand what was going off inside myself, why I was in such a bad place, how I'd got there. So it is finding, you know, your why for sure. What is it you actually want to achieve? And, you know, for me, at the start, all it was for me is I didn't want to work all those hours, because, you know, I was struggling with, as I said, with mental health, but also massively with stress, because I was spending 90% of the time outside my home. And I was doing that to pay to live in my home, but I was never in it. But also, yeah, I never saw my daughter, who was being picked on at school and bottom of her class. And to come home and see her in that state, that was the dynamite, if you like, that made me go, I need to change things, because I wasn't there to support her. So that originally was my why. But I hadn't got a clue how to get out of what I call the rat race. I didn't think I could be self-employed. I was, you know, I'd worked really hard to work in the animal management, you know, working with animals, and I couldn't see me doing anything else, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, so I'm telling myself that I can't be self-employed. So we have to remember what we say to ourselves. You know, you mentioned the tree earlier, Numso, which I love, because, you know, your thoughts are the seeds that you plant in the garden of your mind. Whatever you're actually nurturing is what gets to grow. So if you're telling yourself you can't, find those people that have actually done it, because it can be done. Other people are doing it. So that means you can do it. It's just finding out how they've done it, and don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just copy what they've done. You know, obviously keep to you, to your own unique thoughts, your uniqueness, your the word's gone out my head now. Dr. Thompson mentioned it earlier, but your core values, that's it, that's the word. Find out what means something to you. You know, is it ethical to you? You know, don't follow what other people tell you to do, but find the people that have made it happen, and just copy what they've done, but just keep it to being you. Because if you're trying to do something that doesn't sit right in your soul, in your essence, then you're not going to make it work, in my eyes. But like, for instance, me, it was excuse me, the reason why I do what I do now is because of my own unique story, and how I got myself out of that pit of I can never achieve anything. I felt worthless, a bad mom. Oh God, the words that used to go in through my head was just, when I look at it now, I just think, wow, talk about seeds being planted and definitely nurtured in the wrong seeds. So I talk about the seeds that nurtured you. So you've got to be mindful. Are you nurturing a beautiful flower, or are you nurturing one of those negative weeds that are not going to get you very far? So yeah, find the people that have done it, and learn from them. And you can achieve anything that you want, as long as you start believing. But for me, confidence and belief comes from taking action. Nothing's going to happen sitting on your sofa watching TV, mindless sitcoms and stuff like that. Pick up a book and read something that's positive, inspirational, and thought leading. So it's taking the action to help you build your confidence and your belief, and then you can start taking those steps forward. And those steps forward, I talk about daily steps. Dr. Manson mentioned it earlier. Nothing is built on your own. but nothing's built overnight either. It takes time, it takes consistency, you know, the slight edge approach. Like most people, I came across a lady that was struggling with her weight at one point, and she was saying, oh, it's in her genes, it's this, it's that. And then I just said to her, says, right, so what I want you to do is just monitor what you're eating. You know, myself, I've always been skinny from a very early age until I had my daughter. And then I piled on the weight. Now, that weight didn't just appear because I was doing the wrong actions, eating the wrong things. The slight edge approach of me eating a donut or a packet of crisps or something, then eventually made me put weight on. Stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, consistency. But yeah, that slight edge approach, work on yourself daily. That belief and that confidence will come.
I like it, Dr. Bickett, when she talks about confidence, and you talk about confidence as well. Your story is like it's two different people, but in one voice. Like Dr. Bickett, she's saying she was extremely, extremely quiet, and she had to work on her confidence. And I was the same as well. And Angie says the same thing as well. I was the same as well. And because I basically started music at a very young age. I'll go on stage and do the things that I want to do and perform. But when I finish performing, I'll say hi to people, and then I just want to be. I just want some me time, and. When I came to the UK, UK is a different culture, so it was tough for me to adapt from African culture to English culture. So it's something that I had to learn, and I had to actually select. I had to actually be very careful of how I select my friends as well. So I had to learn to actually basically connect with the based on British culture and work on my confidence. And Dr. Biggett, you mentioned when you have a big why as well. If you have a big why, for me, basically, I knew that 9 to 5 job was never my thing. I love working in a very good environment that allow me to work and allow me to show my skills, that allow me to connect with my colleagues and stuff. But what I've realized, like in the UK, we have everything, but we are not grateful of everything. And everyone basically, people spend time mourning. So I was like, I can't cope with the 9 to 5. So the only way for me to basically to work on my skills was to study and become the person that I wanted to become. And I started working with therapist, psychologist, and I started Paul McKenna's programs until I decided actually I love this psychology thing. So I ended up taking a degree. Firstly, the reason basically I took a degree in psychology is because I realized that I'm taking life for granted. So I wanted to learn more, because when you work with the psychologist and they help you, you start realizing the things that basically, like when you're walking on the road, there are things that you don't notice. It's like you're blinded. So I just wanted to find out that world, how it looks like. And my big why basically was to create my own world where if people are judging me, I'm just gonna let them be and just be who I wanted to be. And also, Angie, you talk about you were one of those people that you didn't think basically you can achieve anything. I think we all been there. We all been there. We just had to work our way up, and we've grown just by believing that actually I can be who I want to be. And for me, basically, I don't know what was going on. When I was at home, when I was in Africa, I was okay. I was fine, 100% fine. Because in Africa, you learn to be grateful. When you have something and you watch other people who have nothing, you learn to be grateful through that experience. So I think when I came here, I just started following other people and started to follow their character and stuff. I don't know what happened. Things happened in life, a character changed. But then when my character changed, that's when I became miserable. And I was like, I don't really like this life that I'm living. And I had to change it. I had to learn the skills that I needed to become the person that I am. I had to learn to basically to grow the foundation of my life. And by doing that, basically you have to know the power of repetition by doing things, repeating things every single day. And that's how you grow. And having the knowledge and skills of what do you really want to do, your big why and the principles as well. And it goes with the character as well. Like Dr. Biggett was saying, my character is Nomsa. It has not been like this. My character is actually, my original character is actually a bit crazy, but I had to come down a bit. So I had to come down a bit, but now I'm realizing actually I don't need to come down. I think I prefer my crazy character of basically living my life. When I'm saying crazy, my character is crazy. I have these principles in place where I know who I am, and but at the same time I respect people. I know my boundaries. When it comes to people, I know my boundaries. I know the things that are not judging people, like going around and thinking that I'm better than other people. I know that character, my character is actually, even my family, they didn't realize because I was raised by my dad and my mom. I lived both sides, my mom and dad. But um, when I spend time with my parents a lot. So my family, I start realizing my character now because I was raised by two fathers, and my dad and my stepdad used to tell me that if you want to succeed in life, you have to know that it's a lonely world. You have to choose the lonely world, or you have to choose the world where you just want to be normal. But I don't do normal myself. So I can't cope with normal. If anyone, and I have normal friends, that's okay. I love them. And because I want them to become who they want to become, but I don't do normal. And like I don't know Angie and Dr. Biggett. I know Dr. Biggett. Angie, basically, I know you've just joined us, but I've just realized as well you've joined the club where I don't think at Ngozi Talk Shows there's anyone who does normal. So we just do the things that we love to do, empower people, and we're not afraid of like coming here and empowering and going home, and we're not afraid to send our message across and helping people find their own voice. So that is the character that basically I chose to be. And even my family, they know that Nonsa does not do normal. And when I have problems, sometimes I deal with my problems with professionals and the other people. But when I'm finished, because I don't know you guys, like in your community, you're meant to, when the way you dress up, you're meant to behave that way. And then you're meant to show people, even when you speak, you're meant to show people that you are somebody who hasn't got problems. You've got it all figured out. I don't do all those kind of things myself. I dress up nicely, I learn my skills, but when I have problems, I basically sort out my problems and then I talk about them. And in that way, I'm letting people know that I'm human. And if you want to succeed, this is what I've been through. So you can succeed yourself. You can basically fall. It's okay to fall. It's not okay to pretend that you have figured life out, because we don't figure life out. We work through it. We work through challenges. Over to you, Angie or Dr. Biggett. Anyone who wants to comment? I think you were nearly finished. So anyone who wants to comment?
I love that. Absolutely love that. I'm like you, Nomsa. I don't do normal. I did do normal for a long time, but the more I found that I was trying to fit in and be normal, I just didn't feel right. if that makes sense. Whereas now I'm like, you know what? That's this me, you know. I remember turning up to a business meeting a couple of years ago, and I just didn't feel right all day. And I just thought, what is it? And it was because I was dressed like some corporate woman. I'm not corporate. I never have been, but I felt like I got to wear these stupid shoes that I couldn't even wear because I kept falling over. I'd got this this suit on that I felt like I'd got to all day so I could, you know, didn't look frumpy or whatever. Now I'm just like, I wear my tie-dyed stuff, I wear my flat shoes. I don't, honestly, I got to the point where I really do not care what other people think about me, because what I've realized, it's what I think about myself that matters the most. So that's my input. But I love it. Thank you very much for saying that. And also saying that you're okay when you're not okay, you're not going to get the help that you need. That's one of the things that I struggled with, asking for help massively, because the culture in England was about, if you ask for help, you're weak. It's not. What I've learned is asking for help gives you more strength. In fact, it takes tremendous courage to ask for help. But I was brought up with that British thing of, you know, stiff upper lip, don't talk about this. Oh no, I'm absolutely fine. And fit in with the crowd. Please do so. Get in line. No, not anymore. And that's, you know, that's just because I've worked on me. Like you said, you know, I've studied, I found out who I am, what I want to do, and just want to help other people do the same and be authentic and be them. Over to you, Dr. Bridget.
Thank you, thank you. I love that. Yes, it's a you in the UK, and maybe also actually in many other modern society, or as one some of my clients says that in the more Anglo-based society, where many people are trained to believe that asking for support, allowing support, is a sign of weakness. And as a grief transformation coach, I can after doing this for 25 years and some 25,000 people, I can tell you one thing: the one who allows support from early on thrive, thrive a whole lot faster and a lot easier. and and that is something. And I work with people from practically every different culture by now, and it's very interesting to see. For instance, and some people said, oh, it's what have you, only indigenous culture. No, but if you even look, for instance, I have sometimes not as many, perhaps partly because of their culture, from the Italian culture, for instance, talking about European. The Italians are much more, oh, you know, we express everything, we allow support from the family member and the neighbor and the neighbor of the neighbors or something like that. They tend to be to grieve a bit less and move forward, even when things going on. So if you want to go somewhere and you don't know yet where to get there, find somebody who has been through the path. Find somebody who has been through the path and have the result and do care about you, and then allow support from that person. Allow support and know where you want to go, and allow support to get there. It'll make your journey a whole lot easier and a lot smoother and a lot faster.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love that. I think allowing support, it helps you to get to where you need to go. Because if you are someone that likes to pretend that life is all beautiful, and there's no such thing as a beautiful life, even billionaires, they go through challenges in life. So life is full of challenges and is full of joy. So you just have to just work through it, go through it, and seek help, and know that basically know the things that you want. You have the skills, and also understand the power of putting an effort in something that you want to achieve, and the power of repetition, and and also and having an understanding about love, the power of love and the power of connection with people. You have to connect with people. You have to be someone that has compassion. You have to be someone that is acceptance and not driven by ego. You don't have to pretend, like what we were talking. There are some people that pretend. The power of positivity, it does not come through pretense. Power of positivity, it comes from within, that you work on yourself by working on your failures and basically understanding that failure is basically is a skill that can carry you to get to where you need to be. Because when you fail, that means that you are learning something. And that learning something, if I come to you like Angie, you'll be able to basically help me out because you've done it, it didn't work, and then you had to work out how basically to do it. So I understand that when you fail, it's a skill, and basically work on your life, knowing that have boundaries and avoid distractions. And also, your mind has to be disciplined. The list goes on. If you want to create the world that you imagine, the list goes on. And then, and for me, basically, I don't know everybody's beliefs. You have to use your beliefs to carry you through. Some people believe in the universe. Whatever your beliefs that you believe, they're not wrong. They'll carry you to where you need to go. For me, I believe in God. With Him, everything with NOMSA is possible. I can do the crazy. I can meet my clients and help them to get to where they need to be. So I'm not afraid. So that's those are my beliefs. And knowing that uh, I have people around me. When you love, how you see the world is how you will see people around you. Of course, there are people that will enter your life and take advantage of you. So make sure that you are aware of that. Allow people that want you to grow, that wants to celebrate you when you succeed, and allow people that will let you be. And anyone that wants to add anything before we leave, ladies?
The only thing I would say is I could never at every time. In many times we doubt ourselves and can we do that? Can we do this? And just if you have a doubt, or sometimes we have history that happened in the past that make us doubt ourselves. But just the fact that you make it this far, you make it this far, and yes, you might be having a tough time, but the fact that you make it this
What's
far,
that noise?
then I would say congratulations for you that you are able to be, that you will know and find a way to keep moving forward.
Where's the noise? Who has the noise?
I think I was on mute, so I think there must have been a vehicle reversing. That's what it
Oh,
sounded like to me.
okay. I was mute.
You've muted yourself again, Nomsa.
Do you have anything you would like to say, Angie, before we leave?
Yeah, just what you go through, you grow through. You know, don't sit there in life and just think, oh, why me? You know, what's this? Why is this happening to me? You know, instead, what am I learning? How can I grow through this? That's mine. Thank you.
And we are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday UK time, 1 p.m. UK time. And YouTube family subscribers, please subscribe to our channel. And if you want to find your own voice, lead from within, please get in touch with our coaches, whoever you feel that you connect with. Get in touch at our page, go to the talk show page, or you can go to my website and send me an email. I'll connect you with whoever you want to connect with. And if you are looking for love as well, we can help you to untangle everything, the grieving, the list goes on. Life messes people up. So in order for you to basically to sort yourself out, you have to basically find good coaches that can help you. And we have loads of coaches at Ngozi Talk Shows that can help you to get to where you need to go. And live with grace, everyone. And God